It's big and it's blue. Today we're taking a look at the NZXT S340 ATX PC case. Hi there everyone, this is Sean here, and today we are taking a look at the NZXT S340 PC case. I personally selected the black and blue model, but they offer it in all black, which I like to call the stealth model. They offer it in black and red, which the cable management bar, the LEDs, and this are red except for the LEDs that I've got wrapping, which we'll take a look at that in a second. And the top piece there is red. In this case, I went with the blue version because blue is a cool color. Why wouldn't you do that? And I know it's kind of odd just to review a PC case, but this case just impressed me. I got this in the mail and took it out, and I said instantly, this is a good quality case. I was really happy with the building experience in this case, and so we're going to take a look at some of the features that are on this case, and at the end I'll give you my review. So to really start with the feature set, I'm going to open up the case. And that's where I'm actually going to point out one of my bad points about this case. These screws on my model feel really tight. Like, even when I just crank them down with my thumb, it feels like I'm cranking down real hard. But you're not. So your mileage may vary on that, but don't let that be a denying factor of the case. So we'll pull the panel off. Okay, so now that I've installed blue LED lighting in my case, so for a few minutes, just so we can quit throwing the camera off, I'm going to turn them off. And I'll turn them back on in just a minute. Okay, so I've installed a micro ATX board in this case, namely the ASRock H97M Pro 4. Right there you can see my GTX 960 for the win GPU. Now one of the things bad here, and I think NZXT should have done something a little different here, is my GPU just barely, but it butts up against this. It doesn't quite touch it, but it's almost there. Like another millimeter, my GPU would be right against this bar, which means that I would have to take it off. I don't like doing that kind of stuff, but I like the cable management bar. It makes things really nice. So most standard size GPUs like this one right here will fit in your case. If you remember, I did review the EVGA GTX 960 for the win. This is a pretty daggum good GPU. I used it for a couple of months now and I like it, but we're not talking about this GPU, we're talking about the case. On the bottom here, you've got two 2.5 inch drives. In this case, I've got my Kingston V300 in one side, and on the other side, you've got another mount. They're held in with a thumb screw, but these are cranked down really hard, so I'd have to take them out with a screwdriver. And down here, you have your basement. And so you can see that blue trim piece. On the other side is just the cable management. So I'm not really going to pull that panel off, but something I will note is that the cable management on this case is actually pretty nice. I've been really pleased with the cable management on this case. And right there you can see my WD green 1 terabyte hard drive that I should be replacing soon with a blue. Something else worth mentioning is that with this case, every case I've bought up to this one, including my fractal design, I've either had to add more fans or replace the fans that were in the case. Not so with this one. The NZXT included fans are so daggum nice that I just decided to leave them in. I'm so used to getting PC cases in that I have to take the fans out and replace them. Now, one thing you might notice, you're probably looking at this case and be like, where are my 5 1/4 inch bays? Short answer, you don't need them. I chose this case without 5 1/4 inch bays simply because I don't use 5 1/4 inch bays anymore. I just don't have a need for a 5 1/4 inch bay. CD drives are obsolete, and more media is coming digitally, and I find myself using more digital media, so I just choose to have a regular 5 1/4-less case. All my cabling routed nice and neat, including this Uber USB 3.0 flat cable. There's my audio cable back there, and down there is that. There are no USB 2.0 top ports. So make sure when you buy this case that your motherboard has a USB 3.0, because there's no USB 2.0 on the top. You can buy adapters to adapt it down, and NZXT does not include one, so you'll need to buy that too. You need to buy an adapter for that. However, if you're buying this to do a new build, it's almost guaranteed that your motherboard's going to have that USB 3.0 header, but you might want to check because your mileage still may vary. The NZXT included fans are really nice. They're low noise, got a really good airflow coming out of them. And I don't even have any front fans installed, and I'm still maintaining some decent temperatures. I'm going to turn my lights back on here so you can see them. This is the NZXT sleeved blue LED kit. This is only like $20, and it installs with ease. And I mean literally with ease. I had no trouble getting this installed into my case. This case is also compatible with Q+. I just decided not to go that route. As you can see, the basement does conceal the power supply. Now, the power supply mounting in this case threw me for a loop at first. I'm going to try to turn this around without disconnecting my computer. The power supply, and it's the back of my motherboard. The power supply mounting on this case, the power supply is actually held in with thumb screws here, 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 and here. This is a plate. You take this plate off, you install your power supply, and you push this power supply plate and all, and you screw it in with the 4 thumb screws. Now, it threw me for a loop at first, but after I figured it out, I really like this design. This design is excellent. It's so good. So let me try to turn the case the other way, and I'll pull the other side panel off, unless you see the cable management side panel. And then I'll kind of go through my final observations, show you kind of how I did my cable management, and you might scoff, but it's my patented easy technology, because I'm constantly changing crap out like GPUs and CPUs and all that on this computer. I plan on getting a new motherboard soon, if I can find a nice blue themed board like another ASRock. So let's pull this panel off. It's another case of that thumb screw being stubborn. In my case, these thumb screws were just a little bit on the stubborn side. See, like right there, I just pulled it completely out. What it is it's a really long piece of threaded screw, and so it can come out like super easy. So in my case, I'll just crank it in there just a little bit. And here's the other side. The cable management to me was super simple. In this case, you can see I've routed my 12 volt cable up. Now here's where people are gonna scream at me. Behind my power supply, I just shoved all the cable. I wish I could turn the light on this thing. I shoved all the cables in right there. So like right here's all my power supply cables. There's my hard drive. This is all the cables from the case. Another observation, I kind of like it, but I don't like it at the same time, is wow, NZXT, could you include any longer wire for all the wiring on the front panel? I personally like it. And then you can see those blue LEDs coming in. You can see the blue cable management guide, and this can come off if you need it to come off, but I just choose not to take it off. Right now, my video card fits. You can see the back of the motherboard. I love this extra size cutout, and the reason why I like this is on most of them, just like this little bit right here be cut out, but this, nah honey, is all cut out. Makes for a super simple CPU cooler installation while in, such as the Kraken. Now, one thing I want to talk about is the Kraken support on this case. If you are to buy a Kraken cooler, which I've not tried them, so hopefully out of this I'll get a little bit of something out of NZXT. Maybe they'll send me a Kraken cooler. You never know, since I'm talking so nicely about their cases. You've got a 140 up here, a 140 in the back, and you can put a 240 in the front of this case. So you can do 3 radiators with this case. I would personally probably do either a 240 or a 120 on the top. Once again, with this, your mileage may vary depending on what you're running on this. If you're running an X99, I would highly suggest a 240, but in my case, I'm just going to run a single 120. Again, I went all blue, so you can see that blue. You can see the cable management. What I really liked is how deep this is. Some cases include cable management sides like this, but they give you barely any room. Like your main power supply connector wouldn't even fit through it. In my case, my main power supply connector fits right through. I/O shield installed with ease. The fans, and once again, I really like these fans. NZXT couldn't have included a higher quality fan. In this case, they've included their nice cooling fans. I don't think NZXT could have included anything any better. These are just the greatest fans alive. Heck, I think they're better than a Noctua, and I have Noctua NFS 12As that I really enjoyed. And my first plan was just to move them over, and then I said, I'm going to try these fans out, and these fans are perfect. Considering the fact these fans are a lot cheaper than Noctua's, I'll probably be buying more of these to do my other cases over to these rather than Noctua's. When you see my blue LED glowing through there. I also ordered, when I ordered this case, I ordered a blue LED lighting kit that you can see me blinding out the camera with. And that was just a breeze to install. There was enough room between the fans and all that for me to shove those in, tape them down every once in a while, and just make them look really neat and nice. So overall, I've just been really impressed. The front ports, I really like these. They're nice and tight, so they're gonna feel like at first that you're gonna break them, but they fit in real nice. I've not tried the audio ports, but if they're as good a quality as the USB ports, I would highly believe that they are good. So we're gonna take a look at the front here. I really like this front. No door, just simple, plain Jane, black matte finish. The NZXT logo down there. And on the back it's the same way, just with the fact that I have a silver I/O shield on mine. You can see my 120 gig Nexstar 3.1 that I have a solid state drive installed in for some unknown reason. Overall, this is just a great case. Now, a couple of complaints that I have is I feel like that the motherboard backplate might be a little bit on the thin side. So when you're cranking down your motherboard standoffs, you want to be extra careful not to strip your threads. I almost did, but luckily I have a tap that I was able just to fix that right off the dink. One of the really things that I really enjoyed with this case is the amount of struggle of installing my components was so daggum low that from here on in I'm going to be using NZXT cases regardless. I really enjoyed the building experiences with the S340, and I would definitely go back and do it all over again. If I would have known about this case when I first started building, if this case would have been around, I would have been buying this case from here on in. The S340 is just wonderful. It's across the board a great case. I really enjoyed this case. I love this case, and it's why from here on in, NZXT is my case. NZXT cases will be featured with all of my builds, as I feel like that the case quality of the S340 is so high quality. I'm ready to try out other cases like the Source 210 and some of the mini. I'm ready to try out some of the mini ITX offerings offered by NZXT. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions about this case or any NZXT case, leave them in the comments section. If you have a comment about the case, leave it in the comment section. Or if you just have a comment in general, leave it in the comment section, unless it's about the condition of my house.